I, 26M, caught my girlfriend, 30F, cheating. Hello all. Didn't realize how long this post would be, but wanted to give every single part of the story so that way I can get the best feedback/advice out of this because I'm looking for answers and not sure what to do next. Last month, I caught my girlfriend messaging a guy that had some pretty damning stuff on it. Now before you ask, why did you go through her phone? Do you not trust her? At the time it had happened, I lost my job in April and was trying my hardest to find a job. So we were fighting a lot due to me not finding a job all while I had just started school in March. I also had just started going to school in March, so I was pretty much leaving her on her own in our apartment at night Monday through Thursday. Another addition to this story is that whenever I get a girl that messages me, she's the first person I tell that way if she ever questioned me about it. She already knew who it was. So leading up to me looking through her phone, she was acting different when we would hang out on my days off from school, like being on her phone and sitting in the corner, so I couldn't see what she was doing, hiding her phone, and to me, just being secretive. So I talked to a friend about it, and they were telling me to just go through her phone and see what's up. And I always put that off because I would hate to find something I don't want to see. I trusted her to be loyal and not doing anything to lose it. The week prior to the incident, she was showing me something on her phone, and I noticed a guy was messaging her, a name I have never seen or someone I've never heard of. So I tell her, hey, some guy is messaging you right now. Of course, I didn't open it. Again, because I don't want to see anything I don't want to see that'll ruin everything. She came back with, oh, he was telling me different workouts to do to help grow my legs, and I played football all the way until freshman year of college and also did training with a powerlifting coach. So I felt as if I had enough knowledge to help her in that category. I didn't say anything and just let it go. So that day, I felt like I'd seen enough of how she was acting and finally acted upon myself to finally go through her phone. First app one searched was Snapchat since I'd seen the guy's name pop up a week prior. The first guy on the app was a different guy she had been messaging the day before, so I clicked on his, and there was the one thing I never wanted to see. She had posted a throwback picture with her in a bikini in a pool and her, but was hanging out. The guy says, damn girl, them checks have my baby. Now instead of saying you, I have a man. She answers, LOL, I ain't trying to have baby. He says, well, I'd love to come on that ass, though. She answers, I know you would. He says, that's what I'm going to do. She answers, we shall see. He says, I don't remember where I came last. That's where I freeze and take a picture of the conversation, put her phone down because she was coming out of the restroom. I had no idea what to do. Do I say something? And I didn't. I called my best friend after she left for work and told him everything. And he said, you have two options, end things or make it work. I end up finding this guy's Snap profile and screenshotted the profile and sent it to her to see if she confesses to what she was doing. So I sent it and asked her who the person was. Her, I have no clue who that is. Before I could even text her back, she calls me saying, I have no clue who that is. Why are you asking so? I sent her the picture of the conversation and said, check your phone again. She stays quiet to what I'm thinking she's reading the screenshot, then says, her, I'm so sorry. I messed up. I made a mistake. And I knew right then and there that she was caught. And of course we go back and forth on the phone. I tell her I'm packing her things and that we're done. She's fighting with me about how it was only that one night, it didn't mean anything, and that she tried telling him to stop conversations ago, but he kept on. She leaves work early and comes home to all of her stuff packed by the door, and she breaks down. She begins to tell me that it meant nothing, pretty much doing everything she can try to convince me that it was really nothing. I tell her, okay, let me see the messages then. Let me go through that conversation and read through it. You want innocence? Let me go through it. Well, of course, she already blocked him and the conversation is gone. And she goes on about there was nothing but him trying to talk to her, but she ignored him and that she would tell him that she had a boyfriend. I never once believed it. So after hours of fighting, we finally came to the agreement that we would take a break to give me time to think about everything. And once she talked to her mom about moving in with her, her mom's pretty much said there's no room for her to move in and that she needs to fix it with me. She breaks down and says, I have nowhere to go. And of course I buy into it and have to come to the understanding that she probably doesn't have anywhere to go and told her to unpack her things herself, but that I don't forgive her and am for sure not going to forget. Fast forward 3 weeks after this situation, I finally found a job. and to celebrate. We're hanging out with friends, and one of our friends always tells us, "Girl, I hold men to your man standards," pretty much saying that I'm a good man. I do everything to make sure my girl is taken care of before I take care of myself. And she goes on to tell us this multiple times throughout the night, and it made me mad. While driving home, I tell her, "It's crazy that I'm considered the standard for your friends, but they don't know how dirty you did me." She shuts down and starts crying about how it was a mistake and that she promises it'll never happen again. And before we go to bed, she opens about, "I figured you'd be over it already." I remind her of the dirty things her ex did to her and how he did the same thing she did to me and asked, "Did you ever get over it? Did you ever forget?" And she says, "Of course not. It hurt when I found out." I replied, "Exactly. So why should I be different in the sense of just getting over it like it never happened?" So everybody, I don't expect a whole bunch of people make it this far, but I'm really seeking advice on either how to get through this or reasons why I should just give it up. I don't want to give up on what we have, but I also am always overthinking about what my girl is doing, who she's messaging, what is she doing while I'm at school/work. But I also don't want to keep going on with this because I've been cheated on and gave second chances all for it to happen again. I always told myself I would never go through that again. But here we are giving second chances again. All feedback is welcome, good or bad. Just wanting something to help me get through this tough time. Next story. My girlfriend is cheating on me. I need help. 31M/29F. Update. Yes, we have broken up. Yes, I'm embarrassed to say I pleaded with her to try again with me while she cried and said she can't, but it's over now. We have both broken each other's trust in different ways in the past, and she says she can't keep trying. She said she's disgusted with herself and doesn't know who she is anymore, but that it's too late to try and have a romantic relationship again. She doesn't even want to see that guy anymore either after all this. She loves me, but it's not right to stay together, she says. I am in an impossible situation. I lost my job last year after a bad back injury. My doctor can't find out what's wrong, but it's causing me to not be able to do sitting or standing jobs. It's not getting better, but I can't get disability status, and I can't afford treatments for whatever is wrong anyways. I make no money now, and I'm taking our 2-year-old dog, which makes it even harder. Renting is as expensive as a mortgage these days, and I don't know where to go. I have no family or friends to fall back on either. I have nowhere to go and not enough money to do so. Just as much as I was scared to lose her, I'm even more scared for my future. I'm 31, she's 29. We've been together for 8 years, living together for most of it. I saw a conversation on her phone last night with a guy she's been flirting with for weeks. When I read her kissing emoji messages, and she said, "How's the man who stole my heart doing?" It absolutely shattered me. She goes to her brother's every weekend for years to play board games and watch movies with a group of people. After reading enough messages, I realized that this guy is the one that frequently drives her home afterwards. She said she's been intimate with him for like a month and a half. She said she hasn't slept with him, but she's been kissing him and stuff. I'm completely shattered. We talked for 5 hours. She took a 4-hour nap because I woke her up to talk, and then we talked/hugged for 2 hours before she went back to bed for the night. For the whole 7 hours-ish total of talking, she's holding my hand and hugging/cuddling me while we talk and cry together. She tells me she loves me, but doesn't know if she can stay with me. I'm basically throwing my heart at her feet, telling her more about my feelings for her than I ever have. I've made myself incredibly vulnerable and open, but it's now or never to convey the love that I don't say to her often enough. I'm basically begging her to stay and work things out with me. We have a whole life built together that is worth working on and continuing. Her smile, her voice, she's everything to me. Picturing her enjoying another person's embrace and lips as she's holding me, and we talk about it, is destroying me, but I still find myself holding on to every second of her hugs while we talk. I never know at what moment she'll tell me if she'll stay with me or not. The suspense is insane, and I want every last second of what love is left. I know I won't be able to hug her that lovingly if she breaks up with me, so I'm taking in as much as I can. Being alone to my thoughts, wide awake now, while she's asleep for the night, is turning my brain in circles. I don't know what to do. I was literally looking up engagement rings a week ago, so this came out of nowhere for me. I'm not perfect, but I was under the impression that we had a stronger connection than this after so long. There are so many paths to deal with this, and I just want things to work out. I obviously can't make her stay, and I don't want her to stay out of pity either, but this is not something I want to walk away from, and my heart is exploding with a mix of emotions trying to get her to stay, while also feeling so incredibly hurt and betrayed by the same person I'm actively hugging and fighting to keep. Every second that I lay here, too scared to lose her, feels like days. Her nap in between talks felt like a lifetime. I keep jumping up and pacing. None of this is healthy, and I know an outside perspective would probably say to end it and move on for my health, but the way I want to move on is together with her. When someone is with you this long and becomes your whole life, you do anything to keep them. Leaving her isn't an option I've considered today, even once. Please, I need advice on what I can do to show her that our love is worth continuing, or how I should be handling this in general. TLDR, I found out my girlfriend has been seeing someone for a little over a month, but she is still unsure about leaving me. I want to stay with her, but need advice. Next story. My girlfriend drunkenly confessed to cheating on all of her past relationships. I don't drink. I simply don't enjoy the taste of alcohol. However, my girlfriend drinks every now and then, and every time she does, she gets super wasted and it becomes rather an interesting night. This time, we had stayed in, and she drank whilst I played video games beside her. I wasn't too focused on her. She kept on babbling on, but then she said something that caught my attention so quick, I immediately turned off my PC and faced her and asked her more about what she had just said. She simply admitted to cheating on all 7 of her boyfriends. And the cherry on top? They never knew. She was almost braggy about it in a way, prideful and egotistical. I was taken aback and shocked to my core. We've been dating for 3 years. She never mentioned cheating on any of her exes, much less all 7 of them. I held my emotions and kept myself in check. Told her I was going to go to bed, and after I woke up in the morning, I found her in the kitchen making us both breakfast. She seemed completely sober and relaxed. Part of me was hesitant to bring up her confession, but I did. And once I asked her, her expression changed, her eyes widened, and she started stuttering. She then admitted to everything being true and began crying, talking about how she wasn't proud of what she had done and how she cheated on all of her partners. I told her I needed space and left. It's been 2 days since I've spoken to her. My mind is scattered and my heart feels heavy. Her cheating on her partners and bragging about how she got away with it has me feeling violently sick, and now I'm stuck in my own paranoia. I keep asking myself, what if she cheated on me? What if I'm next? What if she played me too? She keeps blowing up my phone, but I've been decking her. Any advice, please? I was just as recently as a month ago talking with my mother about turning her into my wife and taking that next step, and now I don't even know if I want to be in a relationship with her. Important update. I just recently asked her to come over so we can talk about what happened, and I told her if she wasn't going to be fully truthful about her past and our relationship, then her and I are permanently done and over with. And so, she exposed everything, and I mean everything. I left out a lot of details, so I'm sorry about that. So let me make myself a lot more clear. Her and I are both in our early 30s. She told me she cheated on all her boyfriends 10 years ago during her college years when she was younger, more reckless, and more selfish with her choices. She also mentioned when her and I got together, it had been years since her previous relationship, and that she went to therapy and did a lot of self-reflection. She also admitted to me that during the start of our relationship, she had been texting a few other guys, but did not cheat on me, and once she realized she was falling deeply in love with me, cut them all off and focused on our relationship. I was hurting to core hearing all the words spill out of her mouth. Although it's been 10 years since her physically cheating on all of her past relationships, doesn't mean I'm safe with her. Clearly, I wasn't when she was so close to emotionally cheating on me in the start of her relationship. And even though she admitted to cutting them off, in that moment, I lost almost all my respect for her. Respectfully, I told her that I was done and that I loved her, but I don't love her enough to sit and wonder and have these thoughts chase me now every time I am with her now that I know the truth. Broke up with her right then and there. I didn't allow myself to feel guilty for her. She simply was not the woman I thought I knew. It all feels like a facade, and although it is tearing me apart, I respect myself way too much to be tied to someone who'll have me questioning. Is she cheating on me? Is she lying? What if she does cheat? I'm 34 and way too old to be dealing with someone who'll raise my blood pressure like that. I rather deal with the heartbreak of our relationship ending than forgive her and have her possibly disrespect our relationship.